categories. These are just some of the ones we want to point out to you. But 451 batting average, 541 on base percent. These are video game numbers. And 119 home runs too. This offense is just bonkers. And I'm excited to see what they look like in person today. Patty Gasso even said it too, that it's on a generational run in terms of offense. And on the flip side for Ole Miss, their first 4 SEC series, well, let's just say the conference didn't do them any favors at all. They lost their opening weekend to Alabama, who was ranked 6th in the country at the time, coming off a series loss to Texas in Austin, and then they're facing Patty Gasso's team this weekend, then on the road to see Carlton Pickens in Tennessee. This schedule just has not done Ole Miss any favors, but they're still grinding. They're making no excuses. They know they can get some wins next to their SEC record. Kyra Aycock gets their start today. Carly, what are her keys today?
I mean, I think that she's done a fantastic job this far in the year for the Ole Miss Rebels. I mean, I think that her experience has been, a stellar point for her here in the Ole Miss Rebels. I think that you're going to see her be able to throw, in the upper 60s today with a combination of pitches, her screw, her curve, and her changeup, which has been a go-to pitch for her this year.
Absolutely, and she faces an Oklahoma Sooners lineup that, I mean, you think about it, 7, 8 players on this Oklahoma lineup, 1 through 9, are hitting over 460 of some sort. It's bonkers. Also this season, 28 games with 2 or more home runs hit by this offense. You're going to see a lot of long balls today, too, and Jamie Traxel even told us earlier this week that if you're Ole Miss, you can't. You got to be a goldfish in terms of the fact that, they're going to hit, they're going to get their own. You have to respond the way that you want. And Ole Miss's defense, too. Leilana Applin, Taylor Malvin, Maddie George in the outfield. Cassie Reisner and Mackenzie Pickens are up the middle. Ryan Starr getting the start today at third base for Ole Miss. Starr, just her 7th start this season, and Percy Yamas is at first. Kennedy Bunker's been the mainstay behind the dish today, or this season, rather, for Ole Miss. And it's a gorgeous day to begin a series. Today is game 1. Tomorrow and Monday are games 2 and 3. Cassidy Pickering steps up, DH for Oklahoma. Kyra Aycock deals today's first pitch. It's in there, called strike, and we are off and running for game 1 in Oxford between number 4 Oklahoma and unranked Ole Miss. Just an absurd stat line for Pickering, who's leading off for Oklahoma. Now 0-2 to the Sooners' leadoff hitter. Kyra Aycock is no stranger to facing Oklahoma. When she was at Oklahoma State, she tossed 6 1/3 scoreless innings against OU back in 2023. On the ground, third base side, there's Ryan Starr. She plays great defense, and she throws out Cassidy Pickering to begin this ball game. 1 up, 1 down. Got to make you feel pretty good if you're Kyra Aycock.
It does. I mean, the best part about pitching is that, the expectation is that you don't have to be perfect out there in the circle. You've just got to be able to give your team and your defense an opportunity to make a play.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. If you get 1 out, that means you probably have an out that's even tougher after that. And it doesn't get any easier against the freshman Kendall Wells. And the catcher from Bogart, Georgia, takes low, ball 1. The nation's leader in home runs. She has 22 homers in 30 games. Hitting .411. I mean, you laugh, but it's
incredible.
It's just,
and not something that you expect from a freshman.
She skies this skyscraper high to straightaway center field. Taylor Malvin makes the catch. And 2 quick outs for Kyra Aycock to begin this ball game. I mean, even that had some height to it.
Right. I mean, just kind of like Coach Trashel was talking about, you have to expect that the ball is going to get hard. They're going to hit good pitches. When you play at this caliber, it's not about capitalizing on mistakes. I mean, they're just good all around.
Now it's Gabby Garcia, shortstop today. Takes a strike, 0-1. Garcia hitting .442 coming into today. 14 homers, sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. Part of this Oklahoma team that's 29-2. Coming off their 9th straight Women's College World Series appearance, 18th ever back in 2025, where they finished 52-9. The SEC champs in year 1 in the conference. Garcia lets it be, low and away. Oklahoma, too, now in the midst of a season-long 7-game road swing. Made their first ever trip up to Memphis, beat the Tigers 15-0 earlier this week. They turned Memphis into a launching pad.
A little bit of practice, BP, before you came here to Oxford.
And Oklahoma's 7-1 in true road games this season, too. Patty Gasso telling us yesterday that the roads where they struggled the most last year. She's interested to see how her team does in SEC Series #1 on the road. 2-2. Good plate discipline from Garcia. Lets it be. Full count and a payoff coming up from Kyra Aycock. In her first season at Ole Miss, she's 8-4 this year with a save. This is start number 14 for her on the year. Payoff pitch, and she threw a gutter ball. 2-out walk, and 30th this year for Aycock. As you see, the Oklahoma faithful have made the trip to Oxford. It was an insanely long line, an hour before gates even opened. Sooners fans lined up all the way down to the soccer stadium down the street, bathing in the sun. Hack and miss for Isabella Emmerling. Some of them got here before me. I got here 3 hours early. I'm like, no one beats me to the ballpark.
That's true. It's a good day for softball. I think, too, it's also given fans a little bit of a grace to be able to kind of come and see some teams you normally wouldn't see now that you've had the addition of the two other other teams that have joined the SEC.
Especially, yeah, Oklahoma, Texas.
Norman's not close.
It's not. One-one. Hit hard off the glove of Starr and ricochets towards the second base bag. And with 2 outs, Emmerling is on first and Garcia moves up to second base. And they give Emmerling the hit, so credit her to 28 now on the year. And her 28 hits now ties the 28 she had last year. Another home run threat at the plate. And Ella Parker. Aycock deals the first pitch strike. A Californian, Parker, hitting .469 this season. OPS is just bonkers. Junior in her 3rd season with Oklahoma. 2-time All-American. Chops it back to Aycock, just outside the circle, gets the 3rd out, and Oklahoma strands 2. And we'll tell you who's in the lineup for Ole Miss when we come back in Oxford. Audrey Lowry, the sophomore from Pittsboro, Indiana, gets the start today for Oklahoma. Sophomore in her 2nd season, also started in Game 1 against Auburn last weekend. Carly, your scouting report on Audrey Lowry.
You're going to watch her throw in the upper 60s, and she's got a high percentage in ground ball, which is a lot to, you know, a true testament to her drop ball. The hardest pitch to hit out and to hit in the air to give you any opportunity to take something over the fence is going to be any pitch but that one. So I think that, you know, it's been also a true testament to how solid their team is, both on offense but also their defense, because of how great they really are in the circle.
And an Ole Miss lineup this season averages over 1 home run per game. Kennedy Bunker at the top of the lineup, a recent change for Ole Miss. Normally you see Taylor Malvin there too, but Jamie Traxel using that 9 spot now as kind of a de facto secondary leadoff batter in the bottom half of the order. And Kennedy Bunker takes ball 1. Simi Valley, California native, the senior in her 1st season at Ole Miss. Spent 3 years at Fresno State. She's 3 for 15 in the first 2 SEC series, though, this season. And takes a hack at 1, 1-2. Lowry pitched twice in the sweep against Auburn last weekend at Oklahoma, now Oklahoma 3-0 in conference play. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Oklahoma's defense, Patty Gasso saying this is a tremendous defense, raved about them earlier this season. Dayton Miner and Parker in the outfield, Garcia and Agbayani up the middle, Barker and Emmerling on the corners, and Wells behind home plate. Mackenzie Pickens takes strike 1. Member of Ole Miss's Women's College World Series team last year. Both these teams were in OKC together but didn't meet.
Right.
Ole Miss's first trip to OKC. Pickens fouls it off, 0-2. Meanwhile, the Sooners, well, they've been there a lot. Audrey Lowry on that team a season ago. She had 5 starts inside the circle last year. She's up to 9 this year, career most for her. And Pickens, a rare chase, low and in, back-to-back Ks for Audrey Lowry, who's dealing through the first 2.
I mean, Lowry's going to be tough. I think that, you know, if you're not selective with your at-bats, if you're not selective with the pitches, I mean, I think kind of getting into a little bit deeper of a count might also help the Ole Miss offense to at least kind of get some momentum rolling.
She faces Percy Yamas, fouls off the first pitch, 0-1 at 70 miles an hour from Lowry. Lowry struggled against Auburn in game 1. In fact, she allowed a season-high 5 earned runs in 4 innings of work. Bounced back, though, in game 3, striking out 4, allowing just 2 earned runs in 4 innings. Quick call of time here. I guess if there are question marks to this Oklahoma team with just 2 losses this year, it's been their pitching. But so far, not the case for Lowry, who's got Yamas in an 0-2 count.
No, you like to see that adjustment being made to at least this early in the season too, when you're just kind of getting rolling and everybody, the pieces of the puzzle, you're kind of trying to figure it out. I think it's been nice to watch her kind of come full circle.
A bloop single with 2 outs for Percy Yamas. Sometimes that's all you need to get an offense going against a team that, again, has just 2 losses this year.
I mean, and that's the energy you need right there. I mean, especially if you're an Ole Miss Rebel, you at least just want to see that some of your girls are able to make some contact in the first, the second inning, and you're not waiting until, you know, the latter half of the game for you to start to get something rolling.
Dropped right in front of Parker, the right fielder. And that brings up Maddie George, a freshman who's been Ole Miss's best hitter statistically this season. .417 hitter, 9 homers as a freshman. Leads Ole Miss in both categories, also RBIs. She pops up, right side. Is it playable for Emmerling? Makes the backhanded catch, adjusted last minute for out number 3. Both teams leave base runners on the base pass through 1. No score in Oxford. Already figured that out, so congrats. We're on SEC Network Plus today. Carly Hummel, Jay Cremata with you, top half of the second. No score. Oklahoma left 2 on, runners first and second base back in the first, and Ole Miss stranded Percy Yamas with a 2-out single in the bottom half of the inning. Gorgeous day for softball, game 1 of this series. Games 2 and 3 will be on SEC Network. Not a cloud in sight. Kyra Aycock deals to Kai Miner and is behind 2-0. A freshman, Carly, hitting .506.
That's incredible.
Every freshman in the country hits .506, don't they?
Every one of them.
I just don't. It is amazing.
I think I love to see it. I love to see the grit and like the determination, especially from younger kids when you're coming into such a tenured program like Oklahoma. I mean, even here with Maddie George at Ole Miss and how, you know, she's kind of taken, you know, the same steps that I think Percy Yamas did last year and kind of just taken a role on as freshmen that you just enjoy seeing.
There's George in right field. She said she never played outfield until her collegiate career started. Well, when you hit
like that, you've got to find a place for her somewhere, right?
3-1, and Miner lines it the other way, but foul. And Patty Gasso was telling us yesterday, too, about her freshmen who are, yes, they're playing, but they're playing in a ridiculously unbelievable clip. And Patty Gasso credited the travel ball coaches, their high school coaches, which I thought was really cool. She didn't take much of the credit at all.
Much of the credit, right. I mean, these kids come from somewhere, and you've got to, especially in the recruiting aspect of these things, you know, you have to be able to determine whether or not, you know, you see potential in some of these kids at an early age. It's hard to see when they're 15 and 16, not knowing what they might be like when they're 20, 22, you know, with a little bit more experience, with a couple years underneath their belt.
Absolutely. There you see the greatest of all time, Patty Gasso. 8 Women's College World Series titles, NFCA Hall of Fame class of 2012. A record that is nearly 1,600 wins in 32 seasons at Oklahoma. Ailana Agbayani shows bunt but pulled back. And you got to watch out for Kai Minor too. 10 stolen bases. She's been caught twice this year. Coach Gasso saying of Minor that she's one of the fastest players they've had in the program in a while. Another show bunt. They're just trying to move her over. Now it's a 1-1 count. Coach Gasso even joked. She said she's so fast that I have to adjust, waving her around second base, you know, telling her to get to third. But Minor's instincts are so good that trust factor's there. 1-2. Agbayani from Hawaii, senior in her second season at Oklahoma, began her career at BYU. Two and two. Two from Kyra Aycock is bounced to second base to Pickens. Has no play at second, so she flips to first. Well, the strategy was to move over Kai Minor at the beginning of the at-bat. Agbayani did it just on a 2-2 count. That brings up Sydney Barker. They've been loud all day. They showed up nearly 3 hours before Gates, or the first pitch, I should say. Oklahoma fans showing up to support the Sooners today. And that hit Sydney Barker. And right away, Jim Cooper, the home plate umpire, brings his crew together to talk about this. Well, if Sydney Barker wanted to convince anybody that she got hit, she convinced me.
That was the quickest bat flip. A nice toss. I find that a little interesting too, though. I feel like most of the time you see batters up there that want to stay in the box and take a solid opportunity at another at bat.
The call in the field was the ball, the batter was not hit by the pitch. This call is being challenged by Oklahoma.
So they're saying she did not get hit by the pitch. And Oklahoma's challenging this.
It did look like a quick, premature choice to just head on down to first.
Well, you ought to sell it.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to be
That's part of it,
You want to
right?
be the most confident one. But Coach Gasso is challenging this. And our SEC video review folks back in Birmingham taking a look at this for us.
It's hard to tell really at that angle if it hit her or not.
Yeah. This is one of our in-venue cameras.
It may have been like a light graze on the knee.
Yeah.
On that inside knee.
Here's your best bet.
Oh.
That's
At
hard
that
to
angle,
tell.
I'm like, well, at that angle, it looks like it maybe did.
Yeah. I'm looking for any type of movement on that lower leg. Kind of see some movement too, can't you, on that lower leg from her pants?
Yeah.
Well, if you're Sydney Barker, if you're looking at your leg thinking, have I formed a bruise yet? Can I show them?
Can I just prove it?
Can I show you my lower leg? right now it amounts to whether or not Oklahoma has runners on first and second base with one out, or just a runner on second with one out. It's a good family day at the ballpark, too. That's how you entertain the little ones. It's a long review, an important review, too, already in the second inning. But I want to bring up already 2 walks for this Oklahoma offense. We talked about them leading the nation in 9 offensive categories. Well, walks is one of them, too. Now 164 walks drawn this year by the Sooners offense.
That's just incredible. I mean, you talk about having a real plan when you're in the box and being able to execute that based specifically on, pitches that you want to take, pitches you want to hit. And I think, what these hitters do best is they continue to draw out the pitch count. I think that you're going to find these counts that get deeper in.
After further review, the call of the field stands. Batter is not hit by the pitch. He's up on his first challenge of the game.
All right, that's Oklahoma's first. They have 1 remaining. And Sydney Barker will have to return to home plate. Honestly, I just don't know if there was really enough there. And maybe if she was originally called, if the call was originally she got hit by a pitch, and then Jamie Traxel challenged whether or not she got hit or not,
right,
I think the call would have been the same, where it just probably would have just been inclusive.
Right. I mean, and a hit by pitch is a hit by pitch, but I mean, like you said, I don't know how much of it got her.
So Barker back to the plate. Sophomore in her second season with Oklahoma. Hitting .328 this season, 21 hits, 8 away from the 29 she had a year ago as a freshman. Runner in scoring position for the Sooners, 1-1. It's not just any runner, it's their fastest in scoring position in Kai Minor. Aycock's 1-1. And remember, Kyra Aycock, back in 2023, she pitched against Oklahoma when she was at Oklahoma State. 6 1/3 scoreless innings against the Sooners. They were ranked number 1 at the time. See Barker, a .259 hitter with runners in scoring position. 2-1. Gets away from bunker, and Minor moves up to third. There's been some of that with Kyra Aycock this afternoon.
I think there's been a struggle to find the strike zone, and maybe even just kind of like settle in. I feel like where she's missing, those balls that are in the dirt, they're not quite making it as close to the plate as you'd assume. So I wonder if mechanically some things just might be either one a little off or just need a little bit of fine tuning.
Ball 4. She winds up taking her base anyway after the lengthy review on whether or not Barker was hit by a pitch. Just 1 hit so far for Oklahoma. Their offense has been walked 3 times by Aycock, who now has more walks this season than she does strikeouts. And Jamie Traxel coming out to have a conversation with her Rebels. In her 6th season at Ole Miss, Jamie Traxel. Her Rebs got hot last year, went to the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history. Team that was under 500 in conference play. Boy, they really did get hot in the SEC tournament. All of a sudden, this team, or that team, I should say, grew a confidence like I don't think a lot of people have seen in the history of college softball. Made it all the way to Oklahoma City, getting out of the Tucson Regional, Super Regional, taking down Arkansas in Fayetteville in 3 games. But she knows that rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield, and she wants to look ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. I think this year they've had a harder start. I think there was a lot of promise at the end of last year, but after, it's navigating the portal, it's navigating new players, and they've got a younger team this year. I think that's you have to kind of be patient with, especially when it comes to having freshmen really step up.
They have the number 3 strength of schedule in the country.
makes for a tough first month.
Well, when you look at 0-6 to start SEC play and you look at who they've played, you're like, you know what? Makes sense.
Makes sense.
But they've been in a lot of those games, too. Slapped the other way, fouled by Abby Dayton in the 9 spot for Oklahoma. Number 6, Alabama, in which Ole Miss dropped 2 of those games by 2 runs, correct? And
right.
Then a couple of lopsided games in Austin to the Longhorns. Tennessee is on deck in Knoxville after this, and they're in a barn burner with Florida this weekend. The 0-2. It's really the first time, too, Aycock's been ahead today.
She has. I think it's a narrative you want to have right now, especially with runners on, with first and third. You're reaching the bottom of their lineup. Maybe she's kind of had some of these pre-jitters already kind of figured out.
1-2 on the ground to Pickens, the second baseman. Flips to Reesner for 1, and Reesner gets taken out. Sydney Barker made the play at second base, slid in to avoid the double play. Minor comes in to score. And Reesner's on her feet. The coaches and the training staff will go take a look at her. This is the slide in to second base. It's always tough as a shortstop, too. Reesner, the Kentucky transfer in her first year at Ole Miss. Again, if you're Barker, that's not your intent. Obviously, as Reesner. Never one to not smile. Seems to be okay.
Well, worrisome at first. I wasn't sure if she was able to stand or not.
Well, it doesn't feel good, I can tell you that.
No, it doesn't.
It results to a 1-0 Oklahoma lead on the fielder's choice from Abby Dayton. And now we're back topside for Oklahoma. Give Abby Dayton her 27th RBI in the year. Well, could have been a scary moment, but all is well in Oxford. Pickering at the plate. Strike 1. Oklahoma coming off a series sweep against Auburn last weekend. And a team that's winning in different ways, right, Carly? You think about that Auburn series last weekend. Oklahoma had to come back from a 3-0 deficit, then a 5-1 deficit. Game 3 was tied 2-2 after the third inning. And the scores wound up being lopsided, but Patty Gasso saying that her team facing early deficits, but they're finding ways to come back and win games big, and that's huge for this roster.
I think it's why their numbers are where they are, and these girls have done so well at being able to make adjustments and coming back later on in the game. I think that's what makes them so strong.
Another roller to Pickens, side flip to Reesner, juggled it at first, but hangs on. Ole Miss's defense slow to come off the field, and our umpires are going to get together. Seems like they may talk about whether or not Reesner actually hung on the entire time and that her foot was on the bag to get Dayton at second. But Ole Miss's defense now coming off the field. Umpires seem to be okay with their decision. Patty Gasso now pulls Jim Cooper aside, the home plate umpire. Let's just go to break, and maybe they'll sort this out, and we'll tell you what happens after this. Seems like all is well. So that's what really ends the inning, but in case you're curious whether or not Reesner hung on, yeah, she definitely didn't. But Dayton left early. So that ends the inning for Oklahoma. Still should say the Sooners lead 1-0 on a fielder's choice RBI from Dayton that scored Kai Miner from third. And Ole Miss looks to battle back from behind. Taylor Roman leads off this home half of the second inning for Ole Miss. What a start to SEC play Taylor Roman has had. She's actually Ole Miss's best hitter average-wise in conference play. 6 for 15 at the plate with 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Check swing back to the pitcher, Lowry, who makes the play and throws out Taylor Roman. 2 pitches, 1 out in this second. Just one of those oops swings, and sometimes you wish as a hitter you would love that one back.
I think she did. I think it was as soon as she made contact with that, you could almost kind of see it like in her body language that she was like, no, that's not what I wanted.
As a pitcher, you love that, though.
Absolutely. Nothing like a slow roller. Anything to get you back in.
You pitchers, man, you'll take anything. 1-0 to Reisner. Had that collision with Sydney Barker at second base. Barker slid into Reisner, who attempted to make the double play. Good to see her back up and moving. Wanted that one upstairs, 1-2. She can get a hold of it too, Reisner. 4 homers this year. She had 10 last year in her second season at Kentucky. Chops it to third, and a good play by Barker. The irony of that. Reisner retires Barker last inning, and now Barker retires Reisner later on. 2 away for Ole Miss's offense. And Barker has stepped up to play third base too this season, with Nellie McEnroe-Marinas out for the year. This is hit high, deep down the left field line from Applin. It's got a chance. It's caught at the wall. Abby Dayton makes the catch right at the wall for out number 3. Applin was robbed of her second long ball of the season. Just getting there, Dayton. Oklahoma still on top, 1-0. 32nd year head coach Patty Gasso and her Sooners in Oxford for the first time ever. It's only year number 2 for Oklahoma in the SEC. The last time these two teams met was back in 2017 in Houston. And the Sooners under Patty Gasso, a ton of success. 18 Women's College World Series appearances, 8 national titles, including the historic 4-peat that ended last year. Oh, you know, just 25 conference titles, and Coach Gasso's produced 88 All-Americans, several professional players now, too, playing the AUSL. And you're watching some future pros, including Cassidy Pickering. Maybe she'll be one in the future. 0 for 1 today, a ground out to third. 2-1. What do you like about Kyra Aycock today, Carly? Or maybe it's not what you like, but something that you're noticing. I mean, 3 walks for her stands out to me, at least so far.
I think there's been a solid struggle with the pitching staff here from Ole Miss, and I think there are some, fine-tuning moments, some adjustments that need to be made in order for you to give your team a solid opportunity at being able to win games. It's not just offense, it's not just defense, but when you struggle so much defensively to keep runners off of the bags without earning it.
Another one, Pickens at second base. She's been busy. 4-3 put out, and Pickering's 0 for 2 today. You mentioned Ole Miss's pitching, and in conference play, their numbers that are up there. In fact, the ERA is 11.79. That's the highest in the SEC. And again, this is in conference play. Through the first 2 weekends, Alabama and Texas hit 372 combined against Ole Miss pitching. That was the highest. This is off the end of the bat for Kendall Wells. Up the sleeve of Reisner. And Kendall Wells is aboard first base safely on a play that Reisner probably makes over 90% of the time.
I also think where that was hit, how it came off of the bat there was like just crazy spin anyways, which makes the read a little harder. Anything that gets about 3 bounces on the dirt is naturally going to kind of cause a hiccup, I think.
Brings up Gabby Garcia. Walked her first time up and watches a strike go by. Third-team All-American by the NFCA last year. SEC All-Defensive Team and second-team All-SEC honoree last season. And a ton of preseason accolades, too, coming into 2026. Preseason All-SEC, Softball America preseason All-American. Same outlet ranked her number 14 in their top 100 player ranking. 14th best. 2-1. Oklahoma, though, so far, leading the country in hits, team batting average, etc. Right now, just 1 hit. Make this number 2 into right. George on the run, makes the catch. And Garcia's up to second base. Runner comes home. Kendall Wells scores on the RBI double from Gabby Garcia. That error comes back to haunt Ole Miss, and the Sooners take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, these are just adjustments this team is going to make. And, you know, kind of like we talked about earlier with Coach Trashel saying that you expect, you know, they're going to – we have a challenge.
Ole Miss is challenging whether or not Kendall Wells left early. There you see the reaction from Wells. It's probably one of the more popular challenges in college softball.
Leaving early, yeah. I mean, I think the anticipation is that you're, you know, when you have plays in mind, you're going, and there's, you know, only so much you can do up at the bat, at the plate that, you know, can kind of sell that.
That was your first look at it. They've yet to see it in venue. And whether or not, no.
I don't know.
I think Ole Miss has a case here, Carly. And venue sees it. Ole Miss fans are up and cheering.
As the rule is, she's not allowed to leave the bag until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. It looked pretty close.
In the meantime, some are doing the cha-cha slide. Smokey Eats, our crew chief today. Here's our call. Take it off the board. We're back to a 1-0 Oklahoma lead. Now 2 outs. You got white out? May or may
Let me grab it.
May or may not have already put that on the score sheet.
We've had that a couple of times today. I feel like it's kind of been like, I don't know what's in the energy or what's in the air.
Well, the crowd came out to watch softball today. Both fan bases. take Kendall Wells' run scored and that RBI double from Gabby Garcia off the board.
If you're Ole Miss, that's the exact type of momentum you want right now, to be able to come in with 2 outs. Hopefully you get another one now, and then a solid opportunity at the bottom of 3 to come in. Top of 4. You've got to get something on the board.
Now 3-1 pitch to Garcia. Off the end of the bat, slow roller. It's Pickens, takes it herself. Did she get there in time? She did. She's slow to get up, but she's okay. 3rd out for Ole Miss. What we thought would be an RBI double to put OU up 2-0 on Ole Miss was taken off the board. Still 1-0 Sooners at Oxford. RBI double from Gabby Garcia with Kendall Wells on the base pass, but Kendall Wells left early. We were joking about whether or not if we had any whiteout in the booth. Well, this is what happens when you, I guess, forecast. You do it and just not wait for the call. This is called amateur hour. But also, Patty Gasso had some comments about my handwriting yesterday too. We were with Mason Adkins, our producer, and she said, "How do you read something this small?" And
you can't.
I said, "You know what, Coach? I do what I can." But it was interesting too, because she brought that up, and
it's immaculate. Your handwriting is, but even I struggle trying to read it.
Well, as Ryan Starr is at the plate, it's.
You have a system. You have a system. I get it.
I have a system. As Starr takes a ball. Well, I shared a story with her yesterday, and I said, it's funny you bring that up because everybody brings up and makes fun of me for how small my handwriting is.
But making fun of you. I love your organization. It is.
As someone who's always the butt of the joke. But I shared with her there was a comment that was made to me back when I was in 7th grade that I write small because my brain's small.
Aww.
And Patty Gasso lost it.
Who was mean to you?
She thought it was the funniest thing. As Ryan Starr lays it down foul, 2-2. But she said, from here on out, she said, look where you are. You're talking to me in this beautiful stadium, doing SEC softball. Coach Gasso said, you should call that person up and tell them that I said that you are in a great position where you are. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to put that on a resume.
You should.
Or,
I mean, that's quite the compliment coming from Patty Gasso.
Starr fouls it off right side, but it hits that netting. And Emmerling can't make the catch, so Starr stays alive at the plate, 2-2. But of course, leaving the ballpark yesterday, our producer Mason looked at me and he goes, you know we're telling that story on air, right? And I said, okay,
No.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Reluctantly. Starr rips it foul. Put together a good at-bat here. And of course, shout out to Oklahoma SID Brock Borgeson for putting that together for us too. Coach Gasso was so much fun to talk to yesterday, and we're looking forward to a great and tremendous series in Oxford this weekend. Full count to Starr, who's at the plate for the first time since March the 3rd in the doubleheader against UT Martin. Just 6 at-bats for her this season. Low and away, ball 4. And Ole Miss gets some speed on the base pass, and Ryan Starr. And Taylor Malvin at the plate, who's been that leadoff hitter for Ole Miss, but Carly, we talked about her in that 9 spot back in the first inning. Again, she kind of serves as that 9-spot leadoff hitter that Coach Traxel likes to utilize.
I think the narrative that your lineup gets, you know, whether it's stronger or weaker when it comes to like the deeper part of it, is no longer a narrative anymore. Some of the toughest hitting you're going to see, some of the toughest batters in the lineup are going to come in that 7, 8, 9 hole just because of how things shake out. You know, you expect that your 1 through 3 or 4 hitters get at least maybe one more at bat than the others, but that's no longer the narrative these days.
Foul ball, and the throw was off the helmet of Malvin into right. From Wells, the catcher, she's got a cannon behind home plate.
Yeah, I mean, that was smoked.
There's no way that felt good if you're
No.
Malvin. There's no way this feels good.
Malvin looks like it didn't even happen, you know, like it didn't even shake her at all. It just shot right off of the back of her helmet.
Jamie Traxel getting an explanation from Jim Cooper, our home plate umpire, about that bunt being foul. No, she just steps right in there like nothing happened.
No.
Ryan Starr's got to be careful at first base because Kendall Wells has gunned out some runners before that have been too far off the bases. 2-1. Bunted in the air. Wells tracks it down, makes the catch. Snap throw to first, and Starr's back in time. A disastrous attempt there by Malvin. And again, the senior that you just don't expect that from.
You don't, especially after having kind of like taken that, literally, the ball to the head just then. You'd think that you'd kind of get up there with a little bit more determination, a little bit more grit, and especially like you said, being a senior, you know your job there. Your job is to get the ball into the dirt down so that you can advance that runner. And when you don't do that, it's tough to do.
She's a certified small ball player. She's a slapper, and that is her game. Back top side to Kennedy Bunker. Struck out swinging back in the first inning. Audrey Lowry inside the circle for Oklahoma. So far has allowed one single and her first walk this inning. Starr was on the move, but it's a foul ball. 1-1. Perfect day to bring out the pups. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend for softball in Oxford. Oklahoma's first trip to the Mid-South. Two and one to Bunker now. Homered earlier this week against Louisiana Tech, a solo home run in the third. She pops up behind home plate. Much needed just win for Ole Miss. Sometimes those midweeks can do that for a team, build some momentum after a series loss.
At least give you an opportunity to work on some things when you feel like, you know, you can't catch a win. And these next few weeks are going to be tough for Ole Miss. I think that those midweek games are crucial.
Especially for a team, too, that in order to be eligible for the NCAA tournament, you have to be over 500, your overall record. And that's something Ole Miss wants to be eligible for the postseason. Strike three call. Audrey Lowry paints the outside corner. Strikeout number 3 and 2 against Bunker now today.
That was just a fantastic pitch right there. And I don't think it looked kind of almost like a backdoor, except she's a lefty. It almost kind of floated in towards the plate and kind of sat back out, which makes it just a tough pitch to hit.
Mackenzie Pickens pops up the first pitch she sees, and it's Wells. Comes out, makes the catch. And Ole Miss strands their second base runner in this ballgame, down 1-0 to Oklahoma. We go to the fourth in Oxford. They've got the offense, they've got the pitching, they've got the roster to do it all again this year. Isabella Emmerling leads off this top half of the fourth inning for, again, an Oklahoma offense that hits .451 as a team, averaging nearly 13 runs per game. Just one hit so far and one run against Kyra Aycock. 1-1. Again, Aycock has faced Oklahoma before when she was at Oklahoma State. 6 1/3 scoreless innings against the Sooners back in 2023. No wonder why Jamie Traxel went with Aycock over Emily Boyer today. Boyer's also been prone to allowing home runs, and that's something Oklahoma's really good at.
It's not foreign for them, no.
They only lead the country with 119.
That's insane. That number alone is just, that's mind-blowing to have that many home runs this early in your season, knowing you still have how many more weeks left of softball. That number could, I mean, potentially double.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Kyra Aycock today. And those in powder blue cheer for that.
I know she struggled a little bit here out on the mound in the last 3 innings or so with the walks, but I mean, this is exactly the type of adjustments I think that you're expecting out of your, tenured senior pitcher.
Talked about the amount of home runs the Sooners have. They've hit 33 more than the #2 team in the country, UCLA. They're riding a streak, too, of 362 games consecutively without being shut out. It's ripped foul by Ella Parker. Sooners are hitting .452 as a team. Oklahoma's program record is .405, set in 2021. Parker takes inside. The Sooners also set the NCAA single-season runs record with 638 back in 2021. They've already scored, now you can make it, 402 this year. This is blasted high and deep to right center. This ball is gone. Number 120 in 2026 was a no-doubter by Ella Parker.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ella got every bit of that ball. If you could hear it as soon as it left the bat, there was no chance that was staying in the field.
It was a skyscraper all the way to the upper deck in right center. I mean, they really are adding another meaning to Boomer Sooner this year.
120. I mean, it's what you expect from Patty Gasso. I mean, she'll talk about, her offense and her defense, but I think not that she doesn't focus equally on both, but I mean, she knows and understands that if her offense isn't this strong, they're not this good.
Kai Miner fouls it off. Her foot takes a moment. I mean, they're on pace for nearly 700 runs scored this year.
It's almost unfair. How?
They've hit a home run in all but one game now this year. They've hit 2 or more home runs in 28 of 31. And Miner muscles this out to left. It's a fair ball. The speedster hustles into second base. That's not a stand-up double for just anybody.
No, it's not.
43rd hit this year for Kai Miner and her 7th double. Ilana Agbayani, 0 for 1 today, steps up. Native of Hawaii. And she hacks at the first pitch. Her second season with Oklahoma. Began her career at BYU. Was a West Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Year back in 2023. She sends a loop to left. And a catch is made by Ole Miss's Applin. 2 away. And that brings up Sydney Barker. Mentioned Barker stepping up in that third base position for Nellie McEnroe-Marinas, who's out for the year. Tore ACL against Southeastern Louisiana to begin this month. And Barker waits at the first pitch. Key loss, 2 for Oklahoma, McEnroe Marinas. First team All-SEC honoree last year in 61 games, hit .339, nearly 70 hits. That was her first year back after having the redshirt back in 2024 due to injury. What a comeback story. And, you know, our thoughts are with Nelly, who's back in Norman. Here's the 0-2 to Barker. Aycock's 1-2. Swing and a miss. 2 Ks this afternoon for Aycock, all coming this inning in the 4th, but Oklahoma gets another on the board on Ella Parker's 15th home run this season. And the Sooners right now in the driver's seat for a Game 1 win in this 3-game series. Eight-time national champs and Ole Miss, who made the Women's College World Series last year. Ole Miss still in it, even though they're down 2-0. An offense right now that's has just 1 hit, all thanks to Percy Yamas with their single back in the first inning. Ole Miss's most consistent hitter at the plate, Percy Yamas, on that Women's College World Series team from last year. Jamie Traxel saying that Yamas just looks like she never sweats. She's just so even-keeled in that batter's box. How important is that slow pulse, especially as a young player?
I think it's one of the most important attributes that you can ask out of these calibered players. I mean, if you can get up there and not be able to show any emotion, not allow, you know, body language to kind of give off a little bit different vibes, it makes it, 1, stellar as a leader, and then 2, only possible for you to grow. I mean, I think some of the best criticism is the most constructive ones, and I think kids like this who are able to shake most of what is being told to them and also being able to use and utilize those things.
Little bloop out to Garcia, the shortstop, and 1 away for Audrey Lowry in this 4th. Brings up Maddie George, who the veteran in front of her, Percy Yamas, helped a lot in the fall. You know, Maddie George even told us back in the preseason she went through a lot of failure in the fall. It was an adjustment period for her. And fall your freshman year, is it your hardest fall, without a doubt?
I think so. I mean, I think it's one of the toughest falls because, you know, when you're younger, you're able to kind of, you know, when you're a freshman and sophomore in high school, once you get to those junior, senior years, you're kind of, you know, you're at the best here when it comes to that. And then you come into college as a freshman and you kind of have to refine all those things, start over. And also be willing to be a part of the puzzle. And you have to be able to kind of be like shapeful, you know, being able to kind of like a chameleon almost, you know.
A chameleon, blend in and...
Yeah, I mean, and like a real sponge, I feel like, too, you know, being able to take the information because, you know, you come in on a hiatus that, you know, like I've been chosen, I've been picked, I'm here. And then you're going to get told quite a bit that, like, that's not enough, that you have to make adjustments.
High fly ball, deep right at the warning track. Parker makes the catch. George just missed her 10th homer of the year. 2 away for the Rebels, who are putting the bat on the ball. It's just Oklahoma and Audrey Lowry are letting their defense do a lot of the work for them today.
I think that's something that Ole Miss should emulate, too. I mean, I think it's been a drastic difference here between, you know, Ole Miss's defense versus Oklahoma's defense. She's not thrown near as many pitches, which also makes her savable for Sunday if she has to come in tomorrow. Knowing she'll be utilized on Monday, too.
Going up against Taylor Roman, who's played in 18 straight games coming into today, so make this number 19. It's the longest stretch of consecutive games in Roman's career. 1-1. Just riddled with injuries all throughout her time at Louisiana and Ole Miss last year. Year number 2 for her in a Rebels uniform. Sends it into center. Minor runs in and makes the catch. And Audrey Lowry is pitching a dandy so far in Oxford. Has been not as loud as the stats say.
No, I don't think so. I think she's done a great job today. I think she's struggled a little bit with finding the zone and really kind of hammering there. But I also feel like, you know, the score doesn't lie. She's only allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Back to the conversation we had talked about earlier, knowing that these girls are going to hit good pitches, they're going to put the ball into play, and some of them are going to be unavoidable runs put on the board.
Aycock allowed 3 runs in 6 innings at Texas last weekend, and then in 1 1/3 allowed 4 earned runs. Abby Dayton leads off and takes the first pitch stride. RBI fielder's choice from Abby Dayton put Oklahoma on top in the second. And Ella Parker's skyscraper out to right center. But the Sooners up 2-0 as Dayton takes an HBP. Leadoff runner aboard for the Sooners in this 5th inning.
I think if anything, this is where you want the most improvements from Ole Miss's defense. You know, in the circle, they've got to learn to be just a little bit tighter here if you want to give your team a chance and an opportunity at a win. I mean, even just up 2-0, the hard part is there's so many free bags that are being given.
Cassidy Pickering takes low and away. Top of the order, 0 for 2 today. On a 10-game hit streak right now. RBI 2 for in 6 straight games. Pickering's also on a 29-game on-base streak.
That's incredible. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, you know why she's DHing.
Yeah. 2 groundouts today for her, though.
I think if you have any takeaways today, if you're Kyra in the circle, is your ability to kind of keep some of these girls off of the bases that you're not used to seeing. I mean, she's hitting .494 today with 2 ground outs. I think if you have any takeaways from this.
Misses the zone, 3-1. And again, she has had these moments too where she's been more consistent against other hitters. But pitching from behind quite a bit today, Aycock. 3-2. And fouled off. Pickering, of course, a junior, being looked at as a leader. Coach Gasso saying that she hears Pickering, hears her teaching, talking, and leading. And when her and Ella Parker talk, the rest of the team listens. Gosh, that's respect. Hack and miss, strike 3. Runners on the move to second base, and Dayton's there safely. Just the 3rd time all season, or 10th time rather, that Pickering has struck out.
Again, with the small takeaways, I mean, being able to keep a batter like her off of the bases and without an opportunity to kind of score through is a momentum you hope she continues to keep with these next batters.
Kendall Wells takes low. Not only does she lead the SEC in homers, but also total bases with 106. She's 2nd in the SEC, 5th in the country in RBIs. With 47, she's just on a tear to begin her collegiate career. In front of that pitch, 1-1. Reached on an error back in the 3rd, but then left early on a Gabby Garcia double. She came around to score, and then Jamie Traxel appealed that Wells left early, and video evidence showed she did. Gets a piece of it, 1-2. And entering today, the amount of RBIs by Wells, Garcia, Parker, Pickering, top 16 in all of Division I. No wonder why this team's on pace to reach 700 runs scored this year. One-two is fouled back to her Sooner faithful. And that wind is gusting out today for Kendall Wells, out to left field. Not as strong as the 40-mile-an-hour gust last week in Norman, but yeah, that'll do. Fights it off, still 1-2. I mean,
this is tough. I mean, like that pitch alone right there, she knew if she didn't swing on that she wasn't, I mean, she was going to probably get called for that. But I mean, just driving the count so deep right now, I think has been key for Oklahoma.
Patty Gasso saying about Kendall Wells that she is something new. She hits this high, deep right center. It's got a chance, it's gone! And Wells touches down on home plate to a welcome party of crimson and cream. The freshman's 23rd this year.
I was wondering when we were going to see this out of Wells. I didn't know it'd be in the 5th inning. I thought it might come a little bit sooner. I mean, she's just a tough player. She's offensively, she's been stellar for them. Defensively, she's been incredible too. And again, you know, Coach Trashel saying, like, you have to expect that this is going to happen. You're not going to walk out of this game without giving up a home run when you, what is this, 121 now?
Gabby Garcia now at the plate. Wells is now 7 away from the NCAA record set by Jocelyn Allo, who hit 30. Oklahoma's single-season record is 34. And the NCAA's is 37. And Wells has 23. Sometimes in SEC play, those numbers can slow.
Yeah.
But she ain't slowing down.
No, not at all.
But she's so good at other things, too. As Garcia's 2-0 is ripped up the middle into center, down in front of Malvin. And Garcia's on with her first hit today. But back to that Wells at bat, you talked about it, too, how much she fought off a lot of those pitches, low and away, up and away. And then she just waits for her pitch and crushes it. I mean, that's not a freshman at bat.
No, her patience at the plate, you know, screams more like a junior, somebody who's been around for a couple of years, has learned from others on the team. But you talk about stepping into some shoes and really being able to fill them. I mean, that was lights out for them.
Nancy Evans out to have a chat with Kyra Aycock. Has allowed now 2 home runs in this ball game to the nation's leading home run hitters. Now through 4 1/3. She threw 6 1/3 scoreless innings against Oklahoma back when Aycock was at Oklahoma State. And in her decision to come to Ole Miss, she highlighted her relationship with Nancy Evans as a big reason why. Coach Evans, too, a prominent player and coach, knows a thing or two about winning as well. And Jamie Traxel now out to chat with Jim Cooper, our home plate umpire, and Coach Traxel is going to make a change inside the circle. It's Grayson Jordan out to the circle now for Ole Miss. We'll tell you about her when we come back. And pitching for her 3rd time in SEC play. Pitched against Alabama in game 2, 2 2/3. Allowed 3 runs off 3 hits, walked a batter, and a 13-2 loss to the Crimson Tide. Then pitched at Texas last weekend in a 11-2 loss to the Longhorns. Jordan gave up 4 earned runs on 5 hits and 2 1/3. Freshman in her 2nd season with Ole Miss. did not play last year on that Women's College World Series team. She's getting some big opportunities, pitching against Alabama a couple weeks ago and Texas last weekend.
You've got to introduce your freshmen to them early. It's not something that you get to avoid, especially if you want to stick around. If you're not going to, if you don't plan on getting into the transfer portal and this is, going to be a home for you to stay at, you've got to give them some opportunities to at least get their toes wet, introduce them to the caliber that they're going to face from here on out.
Isabella Emmerling is at the plate. And again, Jamie Traxel not going to Emily Boyer, probably saving her for tomorrow. Same with Lily Witten.
In your first game of the series, you still have a lot of weekend left. I mean, I know we're playing on Monday, so.
Diving stop by Starr that throws wide at second base. Spills into shallow right. And Garcia's up to third base. Emmerling is safe at first. What a snag by Starr. It's just the throw was a little wide for Pickens. And they give, well, let's see. This is why Ryan Starr is so good defensively. I mean, she would be something if her back could come around. But that throw just wide.
And that runner advancing to third looked like kind of like a lack of judgment even in right field. You don't have the coverage, you kind of take that over, you get that base and you get to take the advancement.
Cheney Helton pinch running at first base for Garcia. Ella Parker with the home run, her last at bat, takes high and wide. One 0 pitch. So they give Emmerling the fielder's choice. Now she moves up to second base. It's Helton, rather. So now the Sooners have runners on second and third. They caught Ole Miss not paying attention. Helton, she's off the bag at first. They just casually throw back to Jordan, and Helton said, "I'll take second." Yeah, you love that from your Prince runner, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about execution, though. I feel like the rhythm is obviously on Oklahoma's side at the moment, but like they've not let up on any of the pressure. I feel like they've been pressing and they've been pushing at every pitch. You can't take a second off.
On the ground, diving stop for Pickens from the seat of her pants. She can't throw. Ella Parker out. Run comes in, and Oklahoma is up 5-0 on a 3 spot here in this 5th inning, with the opportunity to do more damage. And again, it all started with a leadoff hit by pitch by Abby Dayton in the 9 spot. Kendall Wells with a 2-run homer. And the Sooners have a chance to pile on more runs here with Kai Miner at the plate. They give Parker the single. And her second RBI today. Double for Miner her last time up back in the 4th. Check swing back to Jordan, and she goes to first for out number 2. Big second out for Ole Miss there. Runners, though, on second and third for Oklahoma. If you're Jordan, you're just trying to limit the damage.
You have to. You have to. She's come in a tough position. I mean, this is not easy. It's not easy to do, and with the lack of experience, she's only thrown in a handful of games. It's hard to say that this is a growing moment, but it is also, a true testament to how she's able to answer back, how she's able to make some adjustments.
This is only her 5th outing all time inside the circle, and it's against number 4 Oklahoma. And a pinch hitter coming up for Oklahoma, Lexi McDaniel, freshman from St. Joseph, Missouri. This is game number 29 for her. And first pitch strike. She is 28 for 56 at the plate, hitting 500. Even off the bench, they're hitting 500.
It's like 500 seems to be their number.
Oklahoma leading the nation in team batting average. McDaniel homered in her second career game at Arizona. And a game-tying pinch hit double against Long Beach State. Was 1 for 3 last weekend against Auburn in 2 games. 2 of those 3. They've been hitting 500 with runners in scoring position this year. Down on the count, 1-2. 2 outs, already 3 runs across for Oklahoma in this 5th. Got her. Oh. Foul ball. Almost thought that was strike 3.
Almost. I think what we are seeing from Jordan is a ton of movement. So, I mean, I think even when they are making connection here, they're really going to have to sit and wait on this pitch to travel all the way into the batter's box before they can make any hard, solid contact.
Now she got her swinging. Didn't make contact that time. 3 runs across for Oklahoma and a 5-0 lead. And Kendall Wells, watch this. The freshman's 23rd home run in 2026. Series history between Ole Miss and Oklahoma, there's not a lot there. I mean, this is Oklahoma's second season in the SEC. They were SEC champs last year in their inaugural season in the Southeastern Conference. And the Sooners lead just 6-0. I mean, this is just the 7th all-time meeting between these two. First since 2017, first games in Oxford. As Cassie Reisner leads off this inning for Ole Miss. Audrey Lowry still inside the circle for Oklahoma. However, these two teams faced off in the 2016 NCAA Super Regionals. Sooners won both games in Norman. Reisner way out in front, 1-1. In that meeting in Houston, Oklahoma won 11-8 back in 17. Two and 1 to Reisner. He's 3rd on Ole Miss in hits and 4th in RBIs. Scorches it up the middle, base hit. Ole Miss's 2nd hit against Lowry today, who's pitched a dandy, Lowry. 3 strikeouts. She's only walked a batter. And again, that's her 2nd hit today.
She's had about, I mean, looking at the numbers now, she's thrown about half the amount of pitches that the Ole Miss pitching staff collectively have today. I mean, she's just done a fantastic job.
Faces Leilana Applin. Strike 1. And again, a good day. She allowed 5 earned runs in game 1 in that series against Auburn. Season high for her. Bounced back the next day in 4 innings. Struck out 4, walked just 1, allowed 2 earned runs. In which OU outscored Auburn 25-2 in the 2 games that Lowry pitched. Applin fouls it off. Applin came to Ole Miss with a very long resume at the D2 level. She was a D2 All-American from Angelo State. First team All-American by the NFCA last year. D2 CCA 3rd team All-American as well. 2-2. This is start number 15 for Applin. She's 1 for 6, make it 1 for 7 with her at bat earlier in conference play. Weekly chopped right side. Second baseman Agbayani gets Applin, and Reisner safe at 2nd. That brings up Ryan Starr. Ryan Starr's mainly been used as a pinch runner this season. Last year she was starting defensively and offensively, but her bat just wasn't coming around. Ole Miss felt they had some hitters that were just more consistent than she was. She lost her spot out in the field. Jamie Traxel still used her, though, as a pinch runner. And defense late in games. She was a constant, though, in the lineup back in 2024. Started in 58 games. Jamie Traxel loved her defense. She transferred in from Syracuse. The 1-2, 2-2. Sometimes, though, Carly, it can be hard when you're an everyday player and then things go the way that they do. For Ryan last year, loses her spot. They're just more consistent at bats.
It is, and I think, you know, it's been a constant chatter around her that her defense is so strong. And she is. I think she's such a utility player, and I think when she's out there on the field, she looks fantastic. Now, being able to kind of take that into the dugout and use that offensively, I think that she's struggled. But there's also, you know, it's a true testament to the player that she is for not giving up, you know, being able to show back up, you know, 2 years later in the starting lineup.
That hits her. Luckily, she's wearing that elbow guard. That would not have felt good. Runners on first and second now for Ole Miss. This is the most trouble that Audrey Lowry's been in today.
It's the most traction that Ole Miss has had on the field offensively today.
And the Sooners meet inside the circle with Taylor Malvin coming up to bat, down 5-0 to Oklahoma. And if you're Taylor Malvin, you're looking to bounce back after trying to lay a bunt down in her first at-bat, but she popped it up behind home plate. Kendall Wells made the catch near the back wall. She can make up for that here with runners on first and second. Third base playing in on Malvin, who looks at strike one. It's Barker at third. Everybody else pretty much playing straight up. Although the shortstop Garcia maybe a little closer to the third base bag than normal. Chop back to Lowry. Throws to first. Got her in time. Will they have our friends in Birmingham take a look at this? They will. A challenge from Jamie Traxel. She's 1 for 1 on challenges today.
Hope goes out at first base. It's called a new challenge by Eagles.
It's Morgan Cleveland, the first base coach too for Ole Miss in her first season. Here's our angle from high home. I don't know. What's your gut reaction here, Carly?
I figured there'd be a challenge on it. I mean, I think at that angle, she's out. Also, you know, utilizing the second bag there. It was a close call, but I think she's out.
All right, Ole Miss loses the challenge. Sometimes those are hard. So confirm the 1-3 put out, and that brings up Kennedy Bunker. So with 2 outs, runners on second and third for Ole Miss. Their best opportunity to score runs all day. And Bunker looks at strike one.
I think if you're Ole Miss, this is exactly where you want the growth to start kind of coming in. You've got to start picking up the opportunities where you have them, especially if they're not going to come as frequently as one may have hoped or have assumed.
It's most base runners 2 today that Ole Miss has had on the base paths. Foul tip 1 and 2. Bunker's average with runners in scoring position well up there as well. This is definitely the person you want at the plate if you're Ole Miss. The 1-2. It's in play. Wells calls off Lowry. Throws to first in time. Ole Miss strands 2 in scoring position. It was their best chance all afternoon. They couldn't bring anybody around. Oklahoma still on top 5-0 through 5 innings. In 2026, some of the stars, more stars will be born all throughout this season too. Carly Hummel, Jake Hermata with you. Jack Robertson directing. Mason Atkins producing. The rest of our fantastic crew. We've got the best crew in the SEC taking care of us today. It's Grayson Jordan back out inside the circle for another inning of work. She replaced Kyra Aycock today. And first pitch to Sydney Barker from Jordan. Misses for ball 1. Aycock went 4 1/3. She allowed 5 hits, 5 runs scored, 4 of them were earned. Walked 3, struck out 3. And Jordan last inning got the 2 outs she needed, limited the damage against the Sooners, who had 2 on. She inherited 2 of Aycock's base runners. Did allow an RBI single. Ground ball here from Barker, gets through to begin this 6th inning. Barker's 22nd hit this year. Just a nice piece of hitting.
I mean, and I think you're going to expect that a little bit here from Jordan in the circle because she's not throwing as hard. A lot of the velocity that's going to be produced on the behalf of the offense that's playing is going to be all power and all weight. I mean, you're going to see a lot of balls, I think, in the dirt. Ground ball percentage high.
And again, it's just Jordan's 5th appearance ever inside the circle. She only pitched twice in non-conference play against Mercer and UT Martin, an inning each in both those games, and UT Martin scored 3 runs off her. Pitched against Alabama and at Texas last weekend. Dayton got a piece of that, 1-1. Jordan did not play last year on Ole Miss's Women's College World Series team. First in program history. Again, Ole Miss probably saving Emily Boyer and Lily Witten for later on this series. But also an Ole Miss team that lost Addie Linton, who they had expected to pitch really well for them inside the circle this year, to a preseason injury. Upstairs, runners on the move. High throw from Bunker, and Barker is safe. Oklahoma stealing some bases this afternoon. Really causing some chaos on the base paths. Came into today 5th in the SEC in stolen bases.
They're just aggressive out there. I mean, and I think that, you know, Patty's not going to give any let up here. I mean, they're winning 5-0, but the game isn't over. They still got 2 innings to work with, and you're going to watch them be aggressive over and over.
A screamer down the left field line from Dayton will easily score Barker. And Dayton's in at second base. Nobody out in this 6th, and it's 6-0 Oklahoma.
That was just a fantastic push right there, too. I mean, there's no better piece of hitting than right there on the line where it toes whether or not you think that it's staying in. Is it foul? Is it fair? And it taking a roll all the way to the warning track.
I mean, Percy Yamas, that was hit so hard, she had no chance at first base to try to make a play. Now it's Cassidy Pickering. So Jordan catches the edge for strike 1. Her 29-game on-base streak in jeopardy this at-bat. Also 10-game hit streak, 2. She's had a hit in all but 6 games this year. Came into today hitting .506. That average was 13th best in the nation, tied for best in the SEC. 1-1 misses. How many people are hitting over 500 in late March?
Not usually very many. I mean, but I feel like that's been a consistent number here with Oklahoma and their team.
2-1 to Pickering. Abby Dayton with her second RBI today, now standing on second base with her first hit today. Three-one offerings popped up right side. Percy Yamas. It's a fair ball. It gets down. And now Dayton is caught in between second and third. She slides back safely. Pickering, she's in a pickle between first and second base. Yamas throws to third. Riesner has no play. What in the world did we just say?
Some really, really, really aggressive base running. And the communication between the two of them.
And Yamas defensively overruns this, realizes she's got to go back, and it barely falls in play. And if you're Ole Miss, they're trying to regroup defensively.
I mean, as a whole, everybody take a deep breath, kind of figure out where exactly the runners are now. They're at first and second. I mean, watching both of them play with the defense there was just, that was wild. And also solid communication between the two of them, not just with Patty. There's nothing that, you know, your base coaches can't do much for you there outside of you being able to adjust, find the ball, figure out where it's at, and anticipate, really.
Jamie Traxel coming to have a chat with her defense about that one as Percy Yamas shares a smile. Coach Traxel just says, hey, these things happen. And the win, too.
Yeah.
We pointed to it earlier in the game that it is a right-handed hitter's dream to hit one out into left field today. That breeze is blowing out. So if you're Yamas, she probably had the original read. That thing goes up in the air. Next thing you know, the softball blows fair. And, you know, that's just one of those happenings in this game sometimes.
Right. I mean, and there's no way that you can anticipate that. You can hope to catch the best read on that ball that you can. I mean, but, yeah, at the beginning of the game, the wind wasn't blowing hardly at all. It kind of was like a still day. And now that it's blowing clear out, it's going to make that ball travel. Anything that's foul is going to be pulled fair at this point. Or even, you know, balls that you assume would be in the net at this point.
Well, now you have to talk to your freshman pitcher because you have the best home run hitter in the country at the plate who's coming off a two-run shot in her last at-bat.
Right.
So worth the conversation from Ole Miss coaching. And Abby Dayton ran to third because she was talking to Coach Gasso, and she just thought, hey,
I'm used to being on this base.
Well, she was on second, went to go talk to Coach Gasso in between those Ole Miss meetings. And after the conversation, she just stood on third base. And home plate umpire Jim Cooper said, no, you're on second. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. As Wells takes slow and outside for ball one. But the best thing about that was Abby Dayton telling everybody, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was not trying to inadvertently steal third base like that, but we forgive you, Abby. You're human. That's the fun of softball. And Kendall Wells' reaction to you saw on your TV screen was just hilarious. Well, 2-0 count to Wells. Jordan just bowls it over home plate, 3-0. Do you give the country's leader in home runs a green light on a 3-0 count?
No, not usually.
No?
No.
I'm giving her a green light. Swing away, Kendall.
I'm surprised Ole Miss didn't put her on.
Oh, she gets the green light. Mashes it. Deep right center. She is superhuman.
I mean, that's an absolute shot by her just then. Wow. I mean, to say that she expected that, I mean, she just, right there, too, does a great job of letting that ball travel and gets all barrel, all ball. I mean, I think that was over the railing. There's a whole street in between the fence.
That was a fantastic reaction coming into home plate, too.
Yeah.
To the welcoming party at home plate.
Between that and the stands, it was quite the celebration.
You weren't going to give her a green light on 3-0 as Oklahoma now leads 9-0.
Well, I mean, I think she gets a green light most of the time, doesn't she?
Yeah. A multi-home run day now for Wells. She gives way to Gabby Garcia. Singled and scored in her last at-bat. 5 times this year, too, for Wells, so she has a multi-home run game. 24 now on the year. Three and one. And Garcia works the walk. First walk from Grayson Jordan. Again, in just her 5th appearance of her career out inside the circle. Jamie Traxel pulls Jim Cooper aside. And this will be it for Grayson Jordan inside the circle. Again, it was a 4-0 ball game when Coach Traxel put in her freshman, who replaced Kyra Aycock. Lily Witten out of the bullpen. We'll tell you about Witten when we come back in Oxford. 9-0 Oklahoma in the top half of the 6th.
And not letting the freshmen stay in a little bit later, but Lily Witten's been fantastic in these situations, coming in, you know, in the 6th and the 7th inning and really kind of helping close out the game.
And Witten's kind of been in that close out the game role for Ole Miss. Pitched against Texas last weekend. Threw 22 pitches in an inning, allowed 4 runs. And first pitch for Emmerling is fouled off to the left. 0-1. She's 1 for 3 today. Singled in her first at bat back in the 1st inning. Witten in her first season pitching for Ole Miss, joined the team last January, or I should say 2 Januaries ago. Was ineligible to play last year. Fouled to the on-deck circle, almost took out the lower legs of Ella Parker on deck. Ella Parker's looking back at her dugout saying, I don't want to stand here anymore. Can you blame her? She's pointing to the field
That
saying,
way. That way.
saying, Bella, the field is that way. Runner on first base and Garcia. Jordan's still responsible for her. Look at Parker. That way. Bella, that way. What are you doing? One, two. These Sooner hitters are so hard to put away.
They really are. I mean, they're probably one of the most, I mean, I can't even say that they're patient, but they are patient with the balls that they choose to hit fair. Not to say that all of that's always in your control on offense. But, I mean, the amount of balls that they've seen today, the amount of strikes that they've been able to defend off.
Just a tad high. 2-2. Witten began her career at Missouri. Garcia moves up to second base. Spent 2 years with the Tigers. More of a reliever than a starter. Started just 3 times and appeared 11 times. This is her 16th appearance for Ole Miss. She has started in 6 games. Line to the left, down for a base hit. Dropped in front of Applin. And now Oklahoma with runners on the corners. Still nobody out in this 6th inning. Got started with Sydney Barker's leadoff single. Abby Dayton had an RBI double. And then Kendall Wells on a 3-0 count. Had the green light the whole time. Crushed it into right center. Cleared the right center bleachers. Here's Ella Parker. She fouls off the first pitch. Solo shot back in the 4th inning. Oklahoma with 3 homers today. Nation's leaders in homers, team average, hits, scoring, RBIs, walks. We can go on and on. Witten gets the sign. Here's the 1-1. Big hack. But now Oklahoma has multi-homers in 29 of 32 games this year.
I mean, it's a wonder how they're not ranked number 1. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not all equally as tough, but like, how do you have numbers like this and not be at the very top?
There's some good teams this year, too. 1-2. Hit in the air, deep left. Applin's back at the track, and she makes the catch. Plenty deep, though, to score Garcia. Sac fly RBI for Parker. She has 3 ribbies today and is up to 47 now in the year. And Oklahoma's reached double digits today. 5 runs scored in this 6th inning for Oklahoma. They've scored 8 of their 10 in the last 2 innings. Another screamer foul by Kai Miner. Emmerling still at first base. Miner today with a double, a walk, and a run scored.
I think that's one of the most intimidating things about Oklahoma is like their ability to late game push.
Well, and they score in bunches too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not just 1 or 2. I mean, there's a couple of innings we've had today in the 2nd and the 4th where there was just 1 run scored.
Yeah.
But I mean, 3 and 5, and this inning still not being over with just yet. It's incredible.
they have 4 of their 11 hits in this 6th. And you know Miner's not done. She fouls it off. But this is the 43rd inning this year that Oklahoma has scored 4 or more runs in an inning. We're not up to this point yet, but they've hit 5 or more home runs in 12 different games. They're at 3 today. 2 from Kendall Wells, the nation's leader. Good discipline by Miner. This is just a well-coached team. Two. Up the middle and past Pickens into right center. Emmerling up to second base. She stops there. And Miner with a multi-hit day, the freshman. with her 12th multi-hit game this season and of her young career. And two, if you're Lily Witt and you're just trying to throw strikes, allow your defense to make some plays for you too. Another team meeting for Ole Miss inside the circle. Nobody's warming up in Ole Miss's bullpen, so this is just a conversation about, hey, let's do our best to get out of this inning.
Yeah, I mean, Lily's doing she's doing the best she can. I don't think that ball, there's not a better effort, I think, that could have been made defensively for Ole Miss to have stopped that ball from going into the outfield.
Ilana Agbayani at the plate. Read a story about her that she would take red-eye flights just to play travel ball from Hawaii to Southern California. Play for the Batbusters.
The good old Batbusters.
Yeah, you familiar?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Actually, Patty she recruits from them quite often.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Little pipeline?
A little bit. There's a few of those, but yeah.
I was going to say a little bit or a lot of it?
A lot of it.
Yeah. Well, seems to be working for her, you know.
It has.
8 national championships.
It worked when I was around.
You are a California girl.
That's right.
One from Witten. Agbayani, too, would do her homework in airports. She's always kind of discouraged, though, about her size growing up. Wasn't sure she wanted to continue playing softball, but her dad convinced her and encouraged her to keep playing. Her dad is Benny, played 5 years in the MLB for the Mets, Rockies, Red Sox, late 90s, early 2000s. Waits on it, hard line drive to Pickens. Makes the catch, steps on second base to turn 2. Get Ole Miss out of this inning. Sooners score 5 runs in this 6th. And they needed a little bit of defensive magic to stop Oklahoma in this inning. Rebels trying to do something offensively when we come back. Bottom half of the 6th inning. If Ole Miss can't respond, that'll be all she wrote for game 1. The Sooners with 8 runs in the last 2 innings, including 2 home runs in the 5th and 6th from Kendall Wells, a 2-run shot and a 3-run shot. The freshman who leads the country in home runs now has 24 on the year. And we haven't seen former Rebel Miley Wichenio yet. She pitched for Ole Miss last year, helped the Rebels to a Women's College World Series appearance. Freshman All-American a year ago, too. And Wichenio, gosh, what a personality. So funny. Lights up your day when you see her. And you know, Patty Gasso was saying about Wichenio is that her transfer to Ole Miss kind of shocked Coach Gasso a little bit, just based on Wichenio's vibes during her visit. There's a strike. Alyssa Parker, by the way, inside the circle, trying to finish this out for Oklahoma.
That pitch was dirty.
Yeah.
That was dirty.
High and away. And in fact, Coach Gasso told us that she didn't really know much about Miley, but her son DJ did, who's an assistant at Arkansas. And if you're familiar with how Ole Miss got to the Women's College World Series, well, ask the folks in Fayetteville. This is yanked foul by Mackenzie Pickens. Parker this year, she's a two-way player. The 2024 Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. She's just a winner, Coach Gasso says. Comebacker right to her. Boy, she handled that with ease. One away. This is another really young, talented player that will, the rest of the country will be super excited when she graduates. But for Coach Gasso, that's not for a couple more years. I don't think there's a position that Alyssa Parker hasn't played on the field yet. And that was nasty stuff.
That's dirty, yeah. I mean, her sell on that is so solid, too. It makes it tough to pick up on the pitch. You really just have to lay off of it.
The #1 pitcher and #2 overall recruit by Softball America in this year's incoming class. An elite competitor, says Coach Gasso. Watching her at travel ball and also high school. And a legitimate pitcher, Coach says, who can play any position in the infield. She can pop a home run. Coach Gasso saying, you're going to enjoy her growth. Llamas takes low, 2-2. Llamas has one of Ole Miss's 2 hits today, her and Cassie Reisner. Two misses. Oklahoma looking to shut out their first conference opponent. Full count pitch, chopped up the middle, and past the diving shortstop Garcia. And a multi-hit day for Percy Llamas. Ole Miss needs a couple of runs, 2 exact, to keep this game going, or 3 rather, to keep this game going. So Oklahoma looks for their 8th shutout this year and back-to-back shutouts. And they haven't shut out back-to-back opponents yet this year. Or rather, this would be the 2nd time if they could, as Izzy Rediger comes in to pinch run for Llamas. And here's Maddie George. Pop out to first for George today, and she nearly left the yard back in the 4th inning. Had a fly ball out to the warning track in right her last time up. Check swing and she goes, strike 1. She'll be a massive piece moving forward for Ole Miss offensively. Leads Ole Miss in average, homers, RBIs, walks. Had a rough Alabama series, Jamie Traxel said, and coach just had to tell her straight up, hey, that's how you get better.
Part of this is failure. I mean, you're not going to be successful every time at bat, you know, and for her to feel like she's failed at 407. Strike zone looks a little larger, doesn't it?
A little tighter. That was filthy from Parker. 1-2. Got her swinging. First strikeout for Parker.
I mean, she hammers that side of the plate, and that's just incredible. That's a really, really nice pitch right there.
This is big, too, for Parker to get some SEC innings. Taylor Roman is Ole Miss's only hope to keep this game going. Parker pitched twice last week against Auburn. 5 combined innings in games 1 and 2. Did not allow a run. Struck out 4 and allowed 4 hits combined. Ole Miss down to its last strike. It's a 4-0 ball game after Kendall Wells' 2-run home run, and then Oklahoma surged offensively in the 5th and 6th. They scored 8 in the 5th and 6th. Sooner faithful, some of whom got here 3 hours before first pitch, have been waiting for this. One, two, called strike 3. Game number 1 in the books as Oklahoma surges in innings 5 and 6 to score 8 of their 10 runs. including a 3-homer day, 2 of which hit by Kendall Wells, the nation's leader. This is a team that's in the driver's seat to definitely make noise in OKC in the future. And that does it for us. Games 2 and 3 on SEC Network. Tomorrow and Monday, Kevin Fitzgerald, Amanda Scarborough, the true professionals will take over for us after this. Be sure to catch the rest of this series this weekend on SEC Network. For Carly Hummel, I'm Jay Cremata. Jack Robertson directed it. Mason Atkins produced it. Final score, an early ending for Oklahoma. They take care of business in 6 innings to run rule Ole Miss 10-0. We'll talk to you down the line from Oxford. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader. Talk to you soon from Oxford.